awesome, absolutely awesome.
I love it when a plan comes together. Definitely worth a look. Yeah, it was well on par. Hi everybody, how are you all doing? I hope we're having a good week so far. So today is Wednesday the 25th of March, 26th of March, sorry, 2014, and I'm here to review the latest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe of movies, that is Captain America the Winter Soldier. Now, you could say that this is actually a sequel of the first Captain American film, even though following all the Marvel films cinematic chronologically, then you'll say this one sort of takes after Thor: The Dark World, obviously. So we've got Steve Rogers. He's now in the modern world. He's trying to find his feet as such, and we find out that in this film he has there's this new villain known as the Winter Soldier. Okay, just before I actually get any further, into this review, I'm just going to warn everybody right now that this is going to be spoiled. Okay, it's going to be full of spoilers, so you have been warned. Okay, so if you're going to continue watching this and you haven't seen the movie, especially for those of you in the States, then that's down to you. I can't be held responsible if you find out information you're not supposed to find out about this film before you go and see it. Okay, just warning you right now. I've already said it, so please don't tell me that I didn't warn you. Spoiler. Okay, spoilers are coming. Okay, right. So the Winter Soldier actually turns out to be his best friend, Bucky Barnes, who we thought had died in the first film. Turns out he's actually part of an experiment overseen by Dr. Zola from the first Captain America film, who was like the right-hand man as such of Red Skull, and he's obviously had a bit of a heavy hand in a lot of things, Dr. Zola. Whilst he may have died, his brain was actually saved digitally. He became a computer. Okay, and it shows. You'll see it in the film as well. What exactly happened to him as such. We get a bit of a background story regarding Bucky Barnes and how he became the Winter Soldier. We get flashbacks with him and Steve before Steve became Captain America. Hayley Atwell is back as Agent Peggy Carter. She's older, but we do see footage of her when she was younger as well. Sometime after Steve Rogers had disappeared, but he does visit her at a hospital that she's staying at, and she's older, and they have a little chat. It's really interesting to see that. Obviously, he's saying that she still owes him a dance, or he still owes her a dance, which is very cute as well. But the film overall, it basically shows you what really goes on with S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's got heavy S.H.I.E.L.D. presence. You've got Kobe Smulders back as Agent Maria Hill, Scarlett Johansson back as Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, and of course Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And the new character that we've got here is it's like the head. He's like the head of the secret division of S.H.I.E.L.D. Alexander Pierce, played by Robert Redford, and it pretty much centres kind of around him, as well as Nick Fury as well. This is a guy that Nick Fury's looked up to. He's like an inspiration as such, and even Alexander tells the story to Rogers about Nick, how he disobeyed a direct order, but for the greater good he saved a lot of people's lives, and that's when Alexander promoted him to director of S.H.I.E.L.D. as such. But at the same time, we find out that Pierce is dirty. He is very, very dirty, and he's also connected to the Winter Soldier, so much so that he's the one that's controlling what the Winter Soldier does in terms of the mission and such, that he gives him, taking out Fury. He kills Fury. I say he kills Fury, but Fury dies in the film, but then later on comes back. So he kills Fury. He's got to then go after the likes of Romanov as well, and even Steve Rogers himself as well. He's been tasked to take them out, because the reason being is that S.H.I.E.L.D., at least the S.H.I.E.L.D. that we know, isn't the S.H.I.E.L.D. that we're familiar with. It turns out that Hydra has been working under the nose of S.H.I.E.L.D. all this time. Okay, so for the past 70, 80 years, Hydra has actually been they've been working behind the scenes, and Nick Fury found something irregular regarding these 3 new helicarriers that had been developed for a project called Insight, and Nick Fury sort of found something not right about this, and he tried to get Alexander Pierce to stall the activation of the helicarriers, but then that's when, because Pierce obviously found out that Fury was getting too close to the truth, he had to take him out. So that's when all hell breaks loose, and that's when Rogers then realizes that the only person that he can trust was Romanoff, and even Hill, and also Sam Wilson, who's played by Anthony Mackie, aka the Falcon, who, by the way, I have to say, with his mechanical wings and his jetpack that he uses to fly around, awesome. Absolutely awesome. I would like one of those, please, because brilliant. So yeah, when it comes to the loggerhead between Captain America and the Winter Soldier, when those two fight for the first time, when Rogers sees that it's his friend Bucky, he just couldn't quite believe it. And even when he says Bucky, the Winter Soldier just sort of says, well, who the hell is Bucky? And then punches Steve. And it's like, okay, so he doesn't remember. He doesn't know who Steve Rogers is. He doesn't know who he is himself. We actually find out later on in the film that it's because Alexander Pierce has been deleting or wiping his brain so that he doesn't remember things about his past, which is kind of harsh. But he was put under ice as well. Shortly after they made him into the Winter Soldier, he was put under ice for roughly the same time that Rogers was buried in the snow as well. So to then bring him out, I mean, I think he was developed, as I say, he was engineered by Dr. Zola, and he was thought to be a myth, this Winter Soldier, and but obviously he turns out that he's not a myth. But overall, as I say, this film was really, really good, and it really does give you the full insight as to what's really going on with S.H.I.E.L.D. We all thought that S.H.I.E.L.D. were out there protecting people, which is what they're doing, but then turns out that directly underneath them, Hydra has been working to try and overthrow them at the same time, which was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And then there's this moment where, again, when Steve Rogers and Winter Soldier are fighting again, Steve allows him to pretty much punch the lights out of him, to basically say, look, you know who I am. You have to remember me, and Bucky just basically says, yes, you're the mission. And then there's one point where he's punching Steve's face in, and then Steve just says, well, I'm with you till the end of the line, which is what Bucky says to Steve when they were younger as well, back in the old days as such. And it's like that sort of hit a nerve in Bucky's mind as such, because we actually see him help Steve in a sense. He saves his life, but then he wanders off, and then that's where we then find out that that Rogers asks Natasha Romanoff to go and get information about the Winter Soldier, because Steve is going to go after him. He's going to find him. He's going to want to find out what happened to him. He wants answers. So the Falcon's going to follow him onto that one. Nick Fury goes undercover, so he's disappeared elsewhere. I can't remember where he said he was going, but he's now disregarded his S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform as such, and he's now just in plain clothes. And Romanoff has decided to go elsewhere as well. So they've all gone their separate paths right now, so that's going to be interesting. So it will be interesting to see how all this comes about for the third movie. And as I say, I think for the third outing, obviously we'll have Captain America, we'll have the Falcon, and I'm guessing be more into about the Winter Soldier, and how Steve is going to try and get across to him to try and bring Bucky back into this world, into the real world, and say, look, let's fight for the greater good kind of thing. So who knows, that might happen. I want to talk about the end credit scene because that was just awesome. Thomas Kretschmann is playing a character in Avengers Age of Ultron. It was announced sometime last year, I've completely forgotten the character he's going to play, but it's Baron von something Strucken. Okay, and we see his character there, and we see the Chitauri scepter again, the one that Loki was holding back in the first Avengers movie. But two characters appear in this end credit scene, and there's none other than the twins themselves, aka Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Okay, it was just, oh my god. You see Quicksilver running around in his cell, hitting himself against the wall and everything, and there's Scarlet Witch just sitting there in a daze, moving little blocks with her hands as such, and then she crushes one of them as well. It was just, oh my god. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So obviously Quicksilver's played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and Scarlet Witch being played by Elizabeth Olsen. And as I say, it just looks wonderful. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks like the Baron clearly has plans for the twins, because they're locked up. So whether it's for experimentation or against their own will, well, probably for both anyway. But we've already seen some of the set pictures for Age of Ultron, and you know, we see pictures of Elizabeth and Aaron along with Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye as well. So there's clearly something going on there. I'm sure we'll find out when we see the film itself next year. But yeah, that end credit scene was pretty sweet, very, very sweet. I just want to also quickly mention before I finish that there was a name that was mentioned, but you have to really hear it. But I don't know if this actually means anything, so I want for the Marvel hardcore fans to just let me know if what I'm saying is right or not. But the name Steve Strange came up. Now, I'm not sure if that's a nod or an allusion as such to Doctor Strange, because I don't know much about the Doctor Strange character at all. I don't know anything about him. So Marvel fans, if you can double check or let me know if Steve Strange is Doctor Strange, because we know that Marvel are looking to develop that film sometime for phase 3 onwards. So again, as I say, the name was mentioned, but I don't know if that's going to be if that's what they're heading towards anyway. But yeah, I just want to mention that anyway. So that's it from me. I just want to say thank you all very much for watching, and I think my next movie review will obviously be The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is out next month. I can't wait. So yeah, looking forward to that. Anyway, thank you all very much. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.